Let's talk about what rich soil looks like for authors and how we can create the right conditions for ourselves to thrive. If you haven't already watched the previous videos in this series, go back and watch those first and then jump back here. And we're going to talk about rich soil. Okay, so just like how not every kind of tree will thrive in every type of soil, not every author will have the same needs to stay connected to their writing practice and remain motivated to keep going in the face of setbacks. For an author, rich soil means your environment and routine align with your specific physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health needs. This is a process that requires both identifying and learning about those needs and overcoming the voices in your head that say you shouldn't need what you do. Let's talk about what depleted soil might look like, because most of the authors I work with are trying to grow a tall tree in depleted soil and then wondering what's wrong with them that they can't make it happen. So your soil is likely being depleted by some of the following. Ready? Phone access, visual distractions, auditory distractions, painful reminders, poor ergonomics, lack of organization, no calendar, social media, constant interruptions, no big picture reminders. You might also need additional nutrients in your soil depending on your unique needs. But if you start by experimenting with the list above, you're likely to see all kinds of growth before you get into the tweaking and more extreme individualization. For instance, if you have your phone within reach during your writing time and it's not on sleep mode, you're giving over control of your attention to that device, period. A single buzz or notification may not seem like much, but creative attention is a precious commodity, and it can take minutes away from your work every time your brain is asked to transition tasks. That can make something that might take an hour end up taking half a day and all of your energy reserves to complete. On the flip side, there are things you can add to your soil that will provide more nutrients. Things like visual reminders of why you're spending all this time writing these books. Maybe a purpose statement or quotes from 5-star reviews that charge you up. Okay, now I invite you to close your eyes for a second and think back to the last kind reader email you received, or a 5-star review that meant a lot to you. Simmer in that. I want you to tune into what your body is feeling as you recall this. Do you feel lighter? More energetic? Are you smiling? Wiggling in your chair? Is your attention shifting toward excitement about writing more? Okay, I want you to remember that, whatever you were feeling as you were thinking of those positive reinforcements. Now, close your eyes again. I invite you to imagine the last bit of criticism you received, either nitpicks from a reader or a 1-star review. What are you feeling in your body as you remember that? Does it feel like your heart literally dropped? Are you feeling any tension behind your eyes? Heat in your face? Heaviness anywhere? Okay, open your eyes. These physical sensations matter a lot over the long run. They can be slow energy leaks or a renewable source of positive energy. So curating your writing space to include those that rev you up is an essential step for every author who wants to stay in this through the tough parts. And on the flip side, having anything that reminds you of the criticism, the 1-star reviews within your view is going to drain you. That is not rich soil. That is depleted soil. Okay, now close your eyes one more time, and I invite you to return to that glowing review or reader email, or you can pick another. Let it sink in again. Okay. You can open your eyes. I just wanted to end on that positive note. Anyway, not having those reminders can be one of the sources of depleted soil, not having the positive reminders. As can how you approach things in your daily calendars. So for example, having too firm of scheduling can suck nutrients from the soil. For others, having too loose of a daily schedule can make it hard to get things done. So this is where that individualization really matters. And you'll either have to experiment to find the right balance for you, or you can do something like strengths coaching that Becca Syme offers. And then, do what she tells you to do. So here are some ways to add richness to your soil. Ready? Limit distracting options during writing time. Enforce boundaries around your best writing time of the day. Focus attention on tactics you enjoy that also get results. Curate your field of vision in your writing space. Experiment with how strict of a schedule you need. And most importantly, be ready to make adjustments as your needs change. So certain seasons of your life will require particular accommodations, and what worked for you 6 months ago may not be what you need today. This is why you can't simply optimize your environment for success, no matter how many so-called success hackers on the internet tell you otherwise. Rich soil is not enough on its own without those strong roots to absorb it. And if you haven't learned about your patterns of thinking, feeling, and doing, and how they may be changing from one month to the next, how will you know what environment works best and what environment might encourage unsustainable patterns instead? Along with that, it's almost impossible to learn what the options are for your environment without speaking with and learning from the others who are willing to support you and reflect back to you when the things you've been trying are clearly not working. So that brings us to the end of this video. But before you click away, I invite you to ask yourself what you might need to change in your environment to better support your creativity and focus. In the next video, we'll look at how to make sure the forest around you is dense enough to keep you upright as you learn to enrich your soil and strengthen your roots.